Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the Stoneblock server, and you may be wondering, what have you been doing on the server for so long? Well, I'll tell you. I've been nuking bases. It's been loads of fun. One of the problems that's happened is this has been a very popular server. I think 180 plus people, tons and tons of people have joined the server. And TPS suffers because you have lots of people building massive big things that really are tick heavy, and then they log off and go away and they never come back and they just leave it running. So I have gone through and I did multiple passes where I went through anything that was unclaimed, I nuked. And anything that was by somebody who was gone for more than 2 weeks, obviously, they had abandoned their bases, and I nuked them too. And so that's what I've been doing. And the TPS has been very nice. In fact, if we take a quick look, TPS, you can see right there, 20. Here, let's go see what it is currently. The thing that's really, really weird, and I don't understand why, there's periods of... Oh, yeah, I got to turn that off so you can see what it says. 20 TPS. Working out very nicely, but there's times where it'll drop down to like 3, 4 for a second or two, and then it's right back up to 20. And I don't understand why that's happening, but it's happening. But one of the things that's been really fun, other than having admin powers and being able to blow up bases, is being able to check out a ton of different bases that people have done. So let me show you what I do. I go into game mode 3, which is spectator mode. You can't see me. Well, okay, you can see my head floating there. And you can do this same sort of spectator mode if you island visit somebody who's online, and that's just /island visit and name. You go into spectator mode and you can visit their island. But how do you spectate your own island? Because it's really fun to do so. The easiest way to do that is island spectate somebody and then /spawn or /home to get to your area. Because you're still in island mode, but you use the /home to get back here, you're in spectator mode. So let's go take a look at the stuff here. This right here is my first room. This was the big room that I started out with, and then I made it taller and taller because it needed to be big. And I have to admit, I do really like this pergola look with the wood and the grass, not grass, glass. It's not glass, leaves, words. And the sad thing is, it's this really khaki looking because this is a desert biome, and so none of the leaves ever look good, but oh well, that's okay. And then one of the things that's really fun is being able to go through the walls and being able to see stuff. So over here is the hallway where I've got access to the nether, the end, the mining dimension, my little sleeping room. I figured I needed a 4th room, so we do that. This is the mob farming area. It's been mostly off for the longest time. I love Witchwater. Witchwater makes the mob farming so nice because then you get tons and tons and tons of the wither skeleton heads. So very nice. So there's that. This area underneath the big room, this was something the fairies pounded out for me, which worked out very nicely so I could have different rooms to have equipment set up. And then I realized I really wanted to keep things concentrated. So it's been pretty much unused, except this area over here I had the HDPE, whatever, HPDE sheets process going on, whatever. If we go down here, this is my wither killing area. I should turn on my here, let's go back out of game mode 3 back into game mode 0, put on my armor because then I get night vision, which I love. All right, so this is my wither killing area. We got the Draconic Evolutions mob grinder, which will kill them in 1 hit. And this little here, this is reinforced obsidian, and it's got a central hollow area. You put their soul sand down here, put the 3 heads, and then they will spawn facing up, and their heads are all inside that 3x3 block, and then you can kill them. And unless you come really close, you can kill them without any problem. This little thing here is my area for converting squid into the ghasts because of witch water, which again, I really like witch water. It works out very nicely. So there's that. Let's go up a little bit. And over here, this has become kind of the central hub of my base, because I can go over to the farm, I can go down over here to my storage of items and my processing of items. And there's my draconic evolution stuff. This was where I did all my chicken breeding and maintenance over here. Oops, let's spin around. And that worked out very, very nicely. But one of the things I did add over here was something to produce more EMC, and that's this farm. This area here has worked very, very nicely, and I wanted something that still had a very green feel. So dark oak, leaves, all of that, and this has been working very nicely. Using the XNet cabling is very efficient, very low tick on the server. So it's a fantastic way of doing it. And, yeah, that is centered. For a split second, I said, that's not centered. It's not getting the whole thing. It is. Let's see, what else? Oh, above here, if we go up, this is my power room. Let's go up. Where I've got my big reactor. And I used to have my Draconic Evolution power ball up here. But it would charge up, get to a certain spot, and then stop. Roll back to 0 and charge up again. It was really annoying, and I didn't know what. I tried different sizes. I tried moving it up and down in here. It just did the same thing every time. So I said, fine, you're gone. But we'll get to that. Let's see. I like this little farm area. That's fine. I think I've showed off everything. Oh, my Botania area. I do like the job the fairies did in here. It's hard to tell because I've got the... Oh, let's do this. Let's get this back off again and wait for the night vision to kick off. You can... The lighting is really cool because these Glimmerwood blocks, they actually produce a little bit of light, which is very nice. The mana glass produces a lot of light, but you can see there's a little bit of light going on from those to kind of keep it lit up. And I like the ravine, and I tossed around some of the mushrooms from the mining dimension just to kind of light it up some. Otherwise, it was just way too dark back there, and nobody liked that. So yeah, you can see there's a little bit of light. You can get a little bit of light through there. And, you know, how did I... oh, let's put that back on. How did I get the ravine here? Well, the fairies built it. Well, okay, no. I built it. I went... Stop. One of the things I noticed is when I fly around in spectator mode, I can wrap around really easily, or warp, because I'm moving around really fast. Anyway, I made a test world, found a nice ravine, used Schematica to grab that, and then I took it to a void world, pasted it in, block by block, took out all of the ores, because I didn't want any of those ores to show up, and then took another snapshot of that in Schematica and brought it in here, and then I went through and I chopped out everything that wasn't in the schematic. So that's how I did that. And the thing that was really, really fun is it ended right over here. Stop warping me around. It ended right over here just at this base. This hadn't been here and this wasn't here. I had to push this back in like 2 blocks. But it worked really, really well to having that there. So that's my base. Oh, there's one other thing. This up here is the Woot area, which I had fun making it out of a lot of the nether bits. And I noticed I still have 2 of the lava blocks that I was using as a light source. And because this is all nether fuse wood and stuff like that, it's all fire resistant. But yeah, the less we say about that. This area up here, this is where I have my power generation stuff going on. Yeah, this is the moving around too fast will always rubber band me. This room down here is my EMC generating room with these energy collectors, and then all my chickens here that are producing EMC blocks. And I just cleared out a bunch of the infinity catalysts out of there, and I think I'm up to 45. This here is my solar panel and ore miner. And I've got the ore miner turned off because I don't need the ores. And yes, I could make EMC out of the ores, but the process of making the ores, grinding the ores, smelting the ores, and then EMCing is far more than chickens. So I'm going with chickens. I don't want to hit the server more. You can see I've got a little baby draconic power ball in here. It's perfect. It does everything I need, and it works. So yeah, it's not lined up. It doesn't look good, but it works. So it's going to stay here. When I made something this size down in the other room, it still failed. So I don't know what it is about that room. It's very, very strange. Anyway, that's my base, and it's fun to be able to look at the bases this way, where you can see how built they are and what's scattered around. You can see little things like there's little water blocks outside of the base here, so that the pumpkins and the melons have hydrated ground for them. Likewise, back over here, you can see that's where the lever sends a signal to the transmitter, so I've got lights on it at my mob farm. So those are some of the little things you can see when you visit other people's bases. And so let's do that. Let's visit a few bases and see mostly how to build stuff that looks good. The first base to visit is obviously Thorgal's, because he's done so much effort here to make this look really cool. Used to have a big sun in the middle and an artificial sky, but he turned that into his draconic power ball, and that looks really cool. And I love how the sky gets darker and darker and darker, and then it fades out in the distance, and lots of greenery all over the place. Looks really, really nice. And, yeah, he's using stone, which is okay, because, hello, Stoneblock, but there's the pattern laid in all the way around that gives it an extra nice look. And then everything is condensed around this base. There's stuff, rooms and storage and whatnot, hiding underneath and around these areas. Whoops. And then the power generation down there, which is just cool to look at. So very, very nice. And those little touches that stand out, like you could have hanging blocks, but instead they're being held up by these balloons with these cable ties to lift them up. Such a very fun little texture and little treatment to make it look good. And it's simple. And it looks so good. That's one of those things that I love, being able to see this and go, yeah, I can incorporate some of this idea of, in making things look nice. Even though they're very, very functional, they could look nice. This over here, processing of a bunch of ores from down below, instead of a big long stripe, it's this nice little, angle, because it looks cool. All right, I just got done talking about people who build just a big plain stone box and build stuff in there. And this is not one. This is Fluffikin's base. And since Stoneblock is a void world base, but it's actually a stone-based void world, he's doing that right here. He's playing this as it is a void world. And I love what he's done here. He also has scale. He's got a massive amount of scale, and you can see how he's industrializing the wall. I think he may have to work with the people that have built the wall, because they're leaking lava, and hopefully the lava won't rise up too soon and encompass his base. But this is fun. You've got all this grass sticking around. You've got a good use of the resources here. Simple things like, instead of having the wheat here level with the grass, they're on raised beds, and you've got the trapdoors all around them to make it look good. And I love it. This base, it starts, if you look down at the lava level down here, you can see it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes up and up and up and up. And if we take a quick look here, wrong thing. I wanted to go here. Now look at the chain. You can see the scale of what he's building here and the amount of work to nibble this down so it looks like it kind of erupted out. And he's got plenty of plans of what to do to build this more. But I wanted to show this off. This is not just a simple cube. This is some serious effort. Now, it's going to take a lot of resources, as you can tell, to put all the items in and to build that. But this is not a small, short-time server. This is something that's going to take some work. Plus, I needed to call out, how did he get rid of all this dirt and stone? I think he had some help. That's what I think. This is the center of Bethod's area, and it still has the flavor of that initial you're encased in stone feel here, but it's not, any of this is, plain stone. It's all been chiseled. You've got lots of different surfaces and textures going on here. If we go down these hallways, here's a big industrial area carved out of the rock, which is fine. Plenty of stuff going on, but there's stuff done to break this up. You can see because of the wood going on around here. Likewise, if we come down over to this side, more the Botania area, again, a lot of the stuff is yes, it's just been carved out of the rock, but there's work done to make it look more than just a big chunk of rock. And those two I'm happy with those two areas by themselves. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is his area for the grinding, and we take a look, there's the various grinders going on. But this work here, it does nothing functional, but it is so cool looking, having this flaming-eyed stone dragon with the water pouring out of its mouth. The black background for it, that's fantastic. That makes this look so nicer than just having a, even a dome is better than just a square or a rectangle, but this makes it so much nicer still. And, plus you've got all the nether brick, which breaks it up and makes it look good, but this is where I geek out the most. This is a fantastic portal room. We've got the end portal here in the center, the mining dimension there. We've got the nether over on that side. I wonder if he went over there. Okay, lots of nether brick, yes. And then over here we've got the lava room. Okay, well, if we take a look, that's the deep dark. But the thing that's fantastic is you look at these dwarven heads on the side, and okay, we're going to have to switch out of my night vision mode because we've got to be able to see, there we go. We've got to see the lights, how this has been done. I really like the roof. It's a night sky that he did out of dark blocks and then chiseled in individual little pixels of glowstone. It lights it up and it looks so very much like a starry night. And I don't know if YouTube is doing this any justice. So let's oh, I can't fly up because I don't have my thing on. But if we come really close, you can see there's individual pixels of glowstone in there, and they do a little bit of light, but because glowstone has that texture, they have different lights. So this one, you can see the light here, and if we come down to here, this one is very bright, and others nearby are dimmer. Such a fantastic idea for lights and to make it look like stars. And then one of the other thing is it's very much the gray motif, which is fine, but it's broken up with textures. You've got depths going on. You've got lots and lots of blocks happening here. Very much fits my way of building stuff, so that's why I like this so much. And then one of the things when chatting with him, he wanted a light right here and tried to figure out if he chiseled that plane of glowstone underneath the stone, it showed there was a little light effect. This showed brighter than the rest, but putting a different block on top of it, like this chiseled stone, it stands out. You don't notice that it's got a different light level, and it does glow. So a fun little tip for throwing on some of the colors. This extra work, extra effort looks so much better than just a hole in the ground. Now, this is JabSparrow's base, and he's done with the Stoneblock server and has moved on. And one of the things he did is he came in and he unclaimed everything on his base, which is very nice. But as I came through here and I said, oh, let me go ahead and clear everything out, I couldn't, because I love the look. And now it still has that same sort of dome feel of the initial Stoneblock experience, but lots of textures, and this use of the wood here and these drying racks gives you that same sort of pergola effect. You're like living in a little forest here, and so I love the look. You know, we've got plenty of things around, you know, with wood, so you don't have the same old boring textures. I have come in here and I've turned off a few things, like the RS controller I've broken off because that chunk loads and things like that. Simple things like here's a way of stopping, you know, or looking at this. What is this? The redstone glass. It's cool looking. But here, the future home of the Infinity Fortress. This is the main reason why I couldn't go through and nuke his base, because of the scale of what he's building over here. And you can see he's hollowed out this area. And then I love this path to get you to this building. Now, it's very much a work in progress, and I think he said, I'm done. But you look at the size of this thing, and whoops, went through a second layer to look out. This is just very cool. Lots of work. I love the use of leaves, and I love the scale of this. Now, a lot of the textures are, you know, work in progress sort of thing, but this is the sort of thing of having a vision that's big. I love this. And yeah, he stopped playing on the server, and I'm okay. I won't come in and just nuke this base because it looks so cool. And so I'm going to leave it on here just because there's so much. This is a massive project, and I'm guessing it's just extemporaneous in that, you know, he said, okay, let me build here, let me build here. I don't know what his plans are, but you can see this looks like kind of like chains or something holding the island in. Just, I would love to see this finished, but it's fantastic. And I'm going to end with this base tour. This is Asteranx's base, and again, it has that same sort of hollowed sphere experience that you get with Stoneblock. I'm perfectly fine with it, but look at the textures, look at the work done. I love the use of treated wood planks as a wood base. It's got a nice warm chocolatey color to the wood that makes this look fantastic, and huge amount of these factory blocks here that lend an era of there's some big industrial stuff going on. Fans, you know, there's some moisture coming out of there. Maybe there's a leak in some of his pipes, but you can see how it's being held up by these really massive posts. Very, very nice. Kudos for using the FTOG colors in the center of his base here. These are all chiseled out of different colored glasses and fluids. This looks really, really nice. Now, if we come down this hallway here, this is very industrial areas for doing things. You've got the steel scaffolding to come in here, charging, or not, that's the crafting with the draconic fusion. Here's your empowering areas. Below is where he's making the neutronium bits. You know, that's where the machine is boring out more stuff going further on. You could just have a flat wall, but no, I love the little touches in this. Now, if we go the other direction and we come in here, stop with the rubber banding. Yeah, it happens when I'm doing so fast. Anyway, another massive area hollowed out. But this is greenery. This is where he's doing his farming. This is where he's been doing his Botania stuff. I love how it's tucked into that oak there. Looks very, very nice. All these sakura trees fantastic. Little bits of light being provided by the crystals from Actual Edition. Too much water pouring down. It's causing some splashing over there. It just looks really, really nice. Because again, could have just a hole in the wall, but he put some definite effort into this to make this look good. If we pull up a little bit, you can see better how it looks very industrial in the raw rock. I love how it blends in. But here's one of the things that I geeked out about the most. Again, use of FTOG colors here. That's his Draconic Powerball. You can't see it, can you? No. But it's there. It's doing all the work that he needs. And you can see that there's the beam going in. And it's steaming up the place like something crazy because of all the work that's going on here. And all that's being generated by these turbines down here. And again, FTOG colors. I love the use of those. And it all just powers up. You got the fluids dripping down. This is very, very nicely done work. And, even a little sign tell you he's got 3.5 trillion RF, I think, in the Dragon Ball there. And, that's a lot of power going in. That is fantastic. You've got the scaffolding going around. That's the sort of build. You could just have a Dragon Ball sitting there. You could have all the various things kicking around and be very boring. But instead, it looks really sweet. That I love. And even though, the rules are if you've been off the server more than 14 days, or if you haven't claimed your base, I can nuke them and reclaim, server resources. I can't do that here. This is such a cool looking base. It hurts my feelings to come in here and want to remove all of this stuff. Now, I have gone through and turned off a few things just because they don't need to be running, but still so very, very cool. And that, just a little bit more effort in building stuff, and things look so much nicer. That's the sort of thing that I look at builds like this and I go, I need to up my game. I need to do better than what I've been doing, because you look at these, it's not one single scaffold. It's a multiple use of different textures, factory blocks. We got the hazard lights going down to this different layer, to lights underneath here. So cool. And okay, enough geeking out, and I love the use of the draconic particle effects all over this place to provide things like, we've got these fans here, and there's mist coming down, and we've got the chiseled grass, I keep calling it grass, leaves. Fantastic. Just a little bit of effort, and it looks so good. Now, I could show you some bare square rooms. Well, I can't, because I've nuked them all, because I saw no reason to keep them around. And I wish I had kept one, just to show the difference between something with effort here and something with no effort. Anyway, enough geeking over this. This has been Grok the DuckFarmer here on the Stoneblock server, having a blast checking out the cool stuff that people have done. And I'm still in spectator mode. Ooh. And thanks for watching. Bye.